In Vichy, Paris during World War II, career criminal Jean Picard awaits execution. French short inspector Marcel Bonnet has pursued Picard for 15 years, finally apprehending him for murder. An air raid delivers a direct hit to the prison when Picard is at the guillotine. He flees to the apartment of his best friend, Henri Duval, and demands forged papers and 5,000 francs. While Duval is gone, Picard seduces his willing girlfriend Louise. In return, Duval betrays Picard to the short. Bonnet captures Picard in Bordeaux. Their trip back to Paris is delayed by a bridge, blown up by an unknown saboteur the night before while carrying a German troop train. The Germans round up 100 Frenchmen to be executed in 5 days unless the perpetrator is found. Thinking he can use his wiles to escape, Picard offers to give himself up instead, since he is already condemned to death. Extremely skeptical, Bonnet nonetheless agrees, and prepares Picard so the Germans will be convinced he is the real saboteur. Picard, now going by the alias Jean-Emile Dupont, ducks into a shop, where he is immediately attracted to the woman behind the counter, Marianne. She is a ward of its owner, Mme Marais, whose son is one of the hostages. 3 days remain until the executions. While Jean works Bonnet for some time to dally with Marianne, Mme Marais searches for a fall guy to hand to the Germans in return for her son and the rest of the hostages. Her first pigeon, Brunoir, proves too cowardly. To clear the path, Bonnet notifies his superiors in Paris that he shot Picard when he attempted to escape, with his body lost in a river. Evidence gathered by the local gendarmes suggests there were 3 saboteurs. Noting 2 strangers in town who had not reported to submit their identification papers, its commander leads a detail to Bonnet's hotel room, bringing a captured suspect. Thinking fast, Dupont reveals Bonnet's real identity, giving Bonnet a chance to claim both he and the captured man are both with the short, working undercover to capture the fugitive. Released, the team of Bonnet and Dupont discover the fugitive to be Major André Varenne of the Free French Army, and aid him in his air evacuation to England. The next morning Dupont leaves a flu-ridden Bonnet behind to rendezvous with Marianne after Sunday Mass, planning to use a picnic with her to find an unguarded way out of town. Meanwhile, the local priest, Father Leclerc, discovers a second plot by Mme Marais, this time seeking to get 3 local men to frame the innocent Dupont. He rails that it would be murder. Bonnet's illness worsens, and he is confined to bed. Dupont uses the excuse of wanting to have the priest hear his confession to go out on his own. He meets Marianne, who helps him evade a mob of locals, once again incited by Mme Marais to turn him in. Again Father Leclerc quells the uprising. When Dupont announces he is leaving for Paris, Marianne goes with him, despite his confession that he is an unreliable and disreputable character. By morning they are traveling in a farmer's wagon. The old man and his wife say prayers for their son, one of the hostages. Dupont goes on his own to Paris, telling Marianne he will get money from friends there so they can start a new life together in Martinique. Back in Paris, Bonnet is desperate. He resolves to turn himself in as the saboteur. Then in walks Jean, ready to do so himself, asking only that Bonnet retrieve Marianne from her futile vigil. Jean convinces the Nazis he was the sole saboteur. When Bonnet goes to Marianne, she asks Bonnet, what is he really like, deep in his heart? Bonnet pauses, then answers, he was a Frenchman.